Right, so this is the MTPJ instability or Lachmann draw test. Again, it's another draw test. This is to test the stability of the proximal phalanx on the metatarsal head. Now you might think, well, it moves so it can't be stable, but it shouldn't move in all directions. There's some movement in a joint that is normal, anatomical, physiological movement, other that is pathological movement or aberrant movement. So it's a sign there's been some damage and the joint is moving in a way it shouldn't move. So often you'll find with people who need this test is they'll tell you again that they did a hyperextension injury. They were maybe, often you'll hear they fell down a pothole and then their foot went right down and bent their toe right back into really hyperdorsiflexion. Sometimes they'll tell you they felt something go, sometimes they won't. But often there'll be a traumatic history again, something happened and they're now painful. So what you need to do for this one, for most tests when you're looking at a joint, you'll stabilise the proximal segment and try and mobilise the distal segment. So you notice before I stabilised the tibia and moved the heel. This time I'm going to stabilise the second metatarsal and I'm going to try and mobilise the proximal phalanx of the second toe. Now the normal movement is simple dorsiflexion, plantarflexion, isn't it? So what I'm going to do here is to see if it can move up and down. So instead of doing that, I'm doing that. Right. See the difference?
Are you distracting it slightly as you do that, Emma?
No, not particularly. There's another test that I will do that for. But this one is simply just to see if the proximal phalanx can move up and down without rotating around the metatarsal head. And that's a sign of something called predislocation syndrome. So if you get a positive sign, so again you've got to test it against the other side, if it does move significantly more than the other one, sometimes it will be a little bit painful, this one, you can suspect that perhaps they've disrupted one of their stabilising parts of that joint. So for example the flexor plate, which is very important in keeping the toe attached down and guiding it round the metatarsal head instead of just off it. Okay.